My guest tonight on Spotlight on a Star is making another one of his fantastic comebacks. He seems to make these just about every 2 years. Once again, he's got another tune racing up the charts. Bobby Vinton, welcome to Spotlight on a Star.
Hello, Spotlight. It's good to be here, and it's good to be back with a record.
Yes, about this tune, why don't you tell us where you found it and all about it?
Well, it was an old German melody that I heard, and I said, gee, what a great melody. In the meantime, I just went with ABC Records, and I had left Epic. I'd been with them for many years, and I says I'd like to get back to making records. I really didn't record for about a year. Thought I'd try movies, made a couple of John Wayne movies, Train Robbers and Big Jake. Then I found out that it really wasn't for me, that I really enjoyed the record business more and the personal appearances. So I said, well, I got to make a record, and I got to come back. And that German melody kept on staying with me, and I said, gee, you know, that German melody is really great. Now I'm going to write a set of lyrics to it. And actually, I'm of Polish descent, and in my act, I talk about being Polish. I'm always on the Merv Griffin show, and he talks the fact that I'm Polish, that I started to get a lot of mail from Polish people, and they says, hey, why don't you do something for the Polish people, something to stop these so-called Polish jokes, something to raise our profile. And then I had an idea. I said, gee, it has never been done where someone sang a Polish pop song with some Polish in it, with American lyrics, with a contemporary beat. I said, that has never been done. So I got all excited about it, so I wrote the words to this German melody, and everybody thought I was crazy. They says, you can't be kidding. I says, no. I says, there are a lot of Polish people out there. And I says, I think from the first time that they hear this record on the air, they're not going to believe it. They're going to say, well, did I hear right? Was he actually singing Polish? Because, you know, Polish today is it's kind of out, but it's in. I mean, everybody is talking about it so much with the so-called Polish jokes that I think it's in to be Polish. And I think somebody just had to turn this all the way around. And aside from having a hit record from it, I think it's doing a lot for the Polish people. I've been getting a lot of mail, and Polish people are saying, hey, you know, we never used to mention the fact too often that we were Polish, and we used to, you know, shy away from from the Polish this, but now we're talking about it, you talk about it, the record is a hit, and you know, it's really working out for the best.
Now, when you originally signed with Epic, you didn't sign as a singer. I think you started with a big band.
Yeah, I had a big band. I used to back up all the singers in the Pittsburgh area, from Sammy Davis Jr. to whoever was appearing with their acts, and wanted to have a big band, wanted to be the next Glenn Miller. Had all young guys. We were still in high school. But our band, I think, was a little bit ahead of its time, because I had a lot of heavy brass and a lot of heavy guitars and rhythm at a time when you know, they didn't want the big bands to sound that way. And similar to Chicago or Santana of today, but it just wasn't happening then, so they were dropping me as a band leader, and then I had a chance. They owed me one more side as a recording artist, so I recorded Roses Are Red as a singer, by only hoping to sell a few records that I could get back to the big band. I had no idea that I'd turn out to be a vocalist on records and selling millions of records.
Do you ever plan to have another big band again and try it again?
Oh yeah, that's still in the back of my head. I like to get my own television show, and the idea would be like a Dean Martin, Lawrence Welk type of show, where it's all together, young musicians, young bands, in the band with contemporary hits and a lot of comedy going on. Somewhere along the way, I think I'll end up with a big band on a television show.
Now let's take a look at some of your hits. You've had quite a few over the past years. Let's start off with Roses Are Red.
Well, Roses Are Red, as I said, was this song that I recorded hoping to sell a few records to few people who may be graduating. It may relate to them. I know I wrote Roses Are Red, Violets Are Blue in my yearbook, so I figured if I did it, somebody else is doing it, that it could, you know, just make enough money to pay for another band album.
How about Blue on Blue?
Blue on Blue was written by Burt Bacharach. He came to see me one day. He says, you've had a lot of luck with colors in your songs, and I wrote one for you called Blue on Blue. And he sang it for me, and it was really good. I mean, when I knew Burt before he really, you know, became a Burt Bacharach of today, and I said, gee, you know, you're really a great talent, and you should be recording these records yourselves, because he had a style, a way of selling the song. And he says, no, I wrote this one for you, and as soon as I heard it, I knew it was going to be a big hit, and I knew he was going to be a big hit.
How about There I've Said It Again? I believe that was a hit for somebody else about 30 years ago.
Yeah, well, I was doing a show somewhere, and a DJ came up to me, and I'm always looking for old songs to bring back, and he says, you know, there's an old song recorded by Vaughn Monroe called There I've Said It Again. He says, it's perfect for you. If you would do it, you'd have a hit. And I says, you know, you're right. I'm going into the studio next week, and I'll record it for you. And he thought I was putting him on. But I really got the idea from just somebody, a DJ, just says, just try it. I think it'd be good for you. And that's one song that I knew would be a #1 million seller for me. I think I made it 1 or 2 takes, and I said, that's it, stop the session. I says, that's a hit, it's going to be a #1 or 2 seller. And I remember my father was there at the time. He says, how can you say anything's going to be #1? I says, look, I really feel this one. There's nothing you have to say on it. You know, it's like when you hit a home run, you can hear the bat, you know, they know it's going over the fence.
Now, in the 1970s, you had another hit record, a tune called Every Day of My Life.
Every day of my life, I was working in Las Vegas. Jerry Vell, who's a friend of mine, came to me. He says, Bobby, if you sing a song called Every Day of My Life, it'll be a hit for you. I said, Jerry, why don't you record it? He says, well, I don't know. I can just feel it'll be a hit for you. So I went and recorded it. I teamed up with the people that did Dean Martin's Everybody Loves Somebody. Jimmy Bone was the producer, and Ernie Freeman was the arranger, and they did that for Dean Martin. And I figured, you know, that's the direction to go with a particular song. And Jerry Vell, he really gave me the idea. His wife hit him on the head with a broom a couple of times every time she heard it on the radio. But it was good. It brought me back a few years ago.
Now, are there plans for a new album in the near future?
Yeah, I'm recording a new album right now. I'm calling it Melodies of Love, and I'm trying to get the great love songs that are out now, putting them into one album. And I'm doing songs like I Honestly Love You and Most Beautiful Girl in the World, and some new songs that I've just written.
Do you write much of your own material?
Well, I wrote Mr. Lonely. I wrote a song called Coming Home Soldier, and I wrote the words to this particular song, and I'm writing maybe the next record.
What was the inspiration for the song Lonely Boy?
I was in the Army, and I was lonely. It took me 3 minutes to write the song. A couple of people said, hey, aren't you a musician or something? Why don't you write a song describing how we're all feeling around here? And I think any guy that's been in the Army has felt lonely. So I called it Mr. Lonely. And I don't know. I think the reason for the success of the song is you not only have to, you don't have to really be in the Army to be lonely. You know, we all feel lonely at times during the day, and it was a song that related to a lot of people.
Do you have any plans for any upcoming appearances in the Los Angeles area?
No, nothing right now. I just closed at the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas, and I'll be back there in March. I do a lot of work on the East Coast. I started off there, and I do a lot of concerts. I just haven't had much going on around here, to tell you the truth.
Of all the different types of mediums you work, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I like live audiences, shows where there's a big crowd, a good sound system, and a great band, and enthusiastic audience. Well, you know, I could just do that every day.
Since you do some of your own songwriting, do you also play very many instruments?
In my act, I play, I play all the instruments in the band. I run from one to the other, and it's a good show number. People are always impressed with that you can play all the instruments.
Now, when you're not busy recording or performing, how do you like to spend your free time?
Well, I play a lot of tennis. I have my own tennis court. I like to play tennis, but I really like to promote. I'm a promoter. Promoting is my hobby. I'm always out promoting someone on something.